Together. Our Father, we are most grateful to you for this opportunity to dialogue with you. We are asking that you be very personal with us and speak in the language that each of us will understand, and cause your word to achieve all that you intended to happen this day, even as we have prayed in Jesus' name. I want to thank God for being here again. I think every time I come here, something changes. This rail was not there last time I came. So I thank God that God is helping you people here. I want to thank Pastor Samakpan for inviting me to be here, and the leadership of the church, and Mr. Kanyang. Where are you going? You'll come back very soon. Yes. We want to look at academic growth. And I want to start by asking the question, why should you excel? When you excel, it enables you to fulfill God's purpose for your life. And what is this God's purpose for your life? Romans 8:28 and 29 answered that question and said, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. For whom he did foreknow, he also did predestinate to be conformed to the image of his Son, so that he might be the firstborn among many brethren. If academic excellence is not going to help you to become like Jesus, I think that excellence don't miss road. Yes. Now, excellence carries many benefits, including making you a good. When I was a small boy, and up to a few years ago, if you call somebody a goat, they got very angry. But these days, being called a goat is an honor. No, be so? Because they say goat is what? Greatest of all time. Yes. So, goat is greatest of all time. Now the world is so obsessed with creating records, and sometimes even for failure. You hear things like the player who misses penalty the most against a particular team. It's a record. And you also have a lot of awards given for excellence. And it's good to win some of them. Yes. Now, I just looked at two families that have done better than me and you. The Mafidons in England are Nigerians by birth, but have gained worldwide recognition as one of the most intelligent families in the world, thanks to their extraordinary academic achievements. Each member of this exceptional family has displayed an unparalleled level of brilliance, setting records and breaking barriers in education at astonishingly young ages. One of the most notable feats of the Mafidon family is the ability to excel in challenging academic disciplines earning accolades and becoming trailblazers in their respective fields. For instance, Anne Maria Mafidon, the eldest of the siblings, became one of the youngest individuals ever to graduate with a master's degree in mathematics and computer science from Oxford University. Her accomplishments laid a solid foundation of inspiration for her younger siblings. The twin siblings, Peter and Paula Imafidon, famously known as the Wonder Twins, made headlines when they became the youngest students to pass the advanced level mathematics exam in the UK at the tender age of 8. Can you imagine that? Year 8, we don't allow people to enter secondary school. Yes, if you make a mistake and enter now by 8, you will not take jump. God, they'll be waiting for you when you get to your final year. But these two children got A-level mathematics at age 8. Now, they also went on to become the youngest children ever admitted to high school in England, further cementing the family's reputation for academic excellence. Their remarkable achievements are not only testament to their intellectual abilities, but also to the values instilled in them by their parents. Their father, Chris Imafidon, is an academic mentor, an advocate for inclusive education, and he has emphasized the importance of fostering curiosity and discipline in learning. The Imafidon's family success story has become an inspiration for many, particularly in highlighting the potential of African families in global academics. Their accomplishments have earned them recognition and respect globally as they continue to defy stereotypes and inspire generations to strive for greatness in education. The Mafidons are living proof that with determination, hard work, and support, excellence knows no boundary. So, that's the family. Thank God they are Nigerians. Yes, because if they were not Nigerians, then this next story would have said, now white people alone could do that kind of thing. When I was doing my PhD in the UK, I heard about this girl called Ruth Lawrence. She was 5 years old when her father began cultivating her for academic stardom. She's now a mathematics professor. Ruth graduated from Oxford at age 13 and completed a Doctor of Philosophy degree in mathematics at age 17. You are saying, Ruth later moved to US after receiving work offers at Harvard, where she became a junior fellow at age 19, and later at the University of Michigan. Her father followed her there. Now, these two families, interestingly, were taught by their parents at home. They didn't go to school. Yes. So you find out that if you give me an intelligent primary school child, I can make him to take WAEC at JS3. I hope you are with me. Yes. Because you doubt it, bring me a primary 6 child, I'll teach him differentiation in further maths. In 1 week, that child will differentiate. I will even teach him integration, and that child will integrate. Yes. And so you find out that these things are possible under certain circumstances. And you find that these people have made names. They are known worldwide. They have collected all kinds of awards. But one thing, very clear. Ruth said, after becoming a professor, she's a Jewish girl. She's working in Israel now. She said she will never pass her children through the kind of thing her father passed her through. Because she lost her childhood. When other children are playing with toys and baby dolls, Ruth was solving serious mathematics. She was not allowed to mix up with other children. The father felt that they'll spoil her. And looking back, she said, none of her children will pass through that kind of thing. How come that this girl, when I was in the UK, she got 9 O-level papers at age 9, 5 A-level papers at age 11, and went to Oxford to read mathematics. Who wouldn't like that? But how can she look back and say, my children will not pass through that nonsense that I did? Yes. Jesus Christ said something. You don't hear any other thing I'm going to say. Take note of this one. And he said unto them, Luke chapter 12, verse 15, take heed and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisted not in the abundance of the things which he possesses. While we are going to talk about doing well academically for the next minutes to go, I want you to take note that that is not life. A man's life does not consist in the number of medals that he has won, whether in academics or in football. I had first class, best graduating student in my department, MSc with distinction, Commonwealth scholar. But 2 years ago, University of Uyo told me that I'm too old, that I must go home. Declare you for here? How can you do that to first class, best graduating student, and you say he's too old, he must go home? That's why I want you to look at all these things the way Jesus looked. Thank God that I know Jesus. Otherwise, I would have been very frustrated as a pensioner. I would say, how can they do this to me? But that is life. A man's life does not consist in these things here. Look at this woman here. She had first class. One with red tie here. Yes, in Uyo. And look at, she's sitting now. If I didn't tell you, will you know? So a man's life does not consist in the abundance of the things, including academic excellence. Because I would like to check out on these Imafidons as they go on to see what becomes of their life. If they don't know Christ, they will end up as moral wrecks. Academic excellence without godliness is a disaster. As I'm speaking now, Professor Cyril Ndifon of University of Calabar, Dean, Faculty of Law, is in prison, custody in Abuja. What's the problem? Not that I didn't publish papers, but they said he was harassing female students, and they sent him to prison, regardless of whatever honors that he won as a student and as an academic. So the kind of life you carry is even more important than the academic titles that you win. Because that is what will determine what becomes of your life. If you excel academically and you also carry the correct life, you become a superstar that wherever you go, you will be offering services that cannot be ignored. Yes. any place you are working, everybody will get to know about you. Even the MD. Some people go and tell MD, Ogasa, there's one guy in that place though. We've never seen anybody like him. The guy is good and also straightforward. He has integrity. One day the MD might say, bring him, I want to see him. So you must balance this up with Christ in you, the hope of glory. Otherwise, life can be very, very frustrating with all the medals you have collected. And parents, don't use your children to settle scores you could not settle when you were young. Maybe your friends used to beat you in school, and now you think it's time to use your children to fight their children. No. I don't discourage helping your children. I did that in my family. And that's why everybody in my house took further maths, including the one that is a lawyer and the pharmacist. Because we really made some serious input into their lives at home. It's very essential. Sometimes when they used to take cowbell, my children will look at some results from some schools. And they find that this man is first. Is from this school. They will now look at the rest of the list to find where the next person from that school is. On that list, they may go down to number 78. Before they find somebody from that school again, they will tell me that in their home effort. This is not school. But it's home effort. That if it was school, you would have seen others in the first 10 or first 20. That this is home effort. So, those of you that are parents, home effort is very important. I can make a world of difference. Now, youth is the time for you to show what you'll earn in life. This is the time to pursue academic excellence, not at age 70 like myself. If I go to school now, I'm just going for going sake. If the teacher annoys me, I carry my bag and get out. Because I don't need any qualification from anybody. Again, but you sitting down there, you don't even have any serious qualification yet. So you need it. And the time to get it is now that you are young. Now what you do with your studies will determine where you enter later in life. Proverbs 22 verse 29 says, seest thou a man diligent in his business? He shall stand before kings. He shall not stand before mean men. On December 26, 2010, I was invited to serve as Deputy Vice Chancellor. Just 4 months after being promoted professor. No matter how holy I was, I could not have been appointed DVC without having become a professor. So there are certain things, certain places you will not be able to enter without academic excellence. And you better take note of that. Now, over 90% of human beings fail to achieve even up to 50% of their potential because of failure to apply themselves to their vocations. You can do far better than you have ever done because God has given you capacity. Some of you here, you entered university with combined. The one you call combined. 2 sittings. You had to carry thread and sew 2 results for us to get 5 credits. If I tell you that that is not your best, you may not believe me. Yes. But if you happen to go to secondary school again now, you will see that that was not your best. Some things went wrong, and you came out with that nonsense result. You didn't apply yourself very well. And that's how the result came out like that. If you apply yourself, you'll be very shocked at what can happen John Maxwell, in his book, Talent is Not Enough, tells the story of a young man called Joe Namath. On January 9, 1969, a young American football player called Joe Namath shocked the United States by uttering just 8 simple words. The Jets will win Sunday, I guarantee it. His club was going to play finals against another team. And that team was called Colts in the American Super Bowl, which is like Champions League. That boys, you know about Champions League now. That we're all waiting for May 25. So this boy went to give press conference, and they were the underdogs. And he said, come Sunday, we will win. I guarantee it. People were saying, why is this boy talking nonsense like this? And all predictions favored the opponents to win them by as many as 18 or 19 points. Joe did not make an empty threat. He actually set out to achieve the impossible. Unknown to most people, Joe had watched hours of games played by the Colts on his projector, which he called the one-eyed monster that never lies. Joe showed his teammates what he saw, and for the first time, Jets played the game with 2 quarterbacks. On January 12, 1969, the Jets beat Colts 16 points to 7 in what is still being considered the biggest upset in Super Bowl history. A young man, he said, we are going to beat them. It's like those of you that follow football. It's like Fulham saying they are going to beat Man City. Some of you will not bet your money on that. So this boy said, why did it work? Because this young man, even though he was talented, he also applied the work needed for the talent to survive. Now, hard work will beat talent if talent does not work hard. I hope that is clear. That hard work will beat talent if talent does not work hard. When we say that you have capacity, yes, you have capacity to do far better than you have ever done in life. God has given you all so much capacity that you have never used. You need to believe in God, in what God has given you, and go ahead to work towards actualizing it. Hard work is very essential. Now, 1998, one of my sons took National Common Entrance, and he scored 476. And they were clapping for him in Uyo. And he has done very well. He has gotten more than the cutoff mark for Akwa State. With that information in mind, when I got to Abuja, I went to see my friend Engineer Ngada from Borno State. I said, oh boy, how are your children doing? My first son just scored 476. National Common Entrance. He didn't talk. I said, oh boy, why are you? I've told you something and we're not saying anything. And he said, my second son scored 698 in the same exam. And that score is out of 800. So your son scored 476 over 800. And by the way, the highest score was 714. And it was scored by a girl from the son's school. I was shocked that somebody could beat my son by 222 marks in an examination that people were congratulating him in review. That school that produced that result was Olumawo Nursery Primary School. And when I got transferred to Abuja, I took my children there. It was a very funny school. They start school at 7:30 in the morning and close at 5:30, Monday to Thursday. Friday, they close at 1:30 because of mosque. Then on Saturday, the senior primaries go to school at 7:30 and come back by 1 p.m. They taught these boys so hard that I was very sure that my son was going to pass very well. And by the time my second son took the common entrance, he scored 672 and was the fourth in the whole of Nigeria. When I came back, I saw one of my friends here whose son was the best in Akwa Ibom. I said, how was your son's result? She mentioned and said the boy was the best in Akwa Ibom. I said my son scored 672, which was far higher. His son scored 590 something. She was shocked to hear that somebody scored like that. And so you find out that hard work is very essential. But these days, there are so many distractions. I was talking to the people in my house. I said, when you wake up in the morning, how many of you do not touch your handset first? Because my wife saw me when I woke up this morning, I sat on the bed quietly for some time. She had to ask me, Zero, why are you sitting like this? I said, Pastor Warren said I should be doing what I'm doing now. Now, when you wake up, the first thing is not to carry your handset. Sit down and thank God and say, good morning, God. Thank you for today. I want to invite you to take over this day and manage for me. And I can't manage it. I know people that don't they don't check their WhatsApp, whatever message on their handset till after 9 a.m. each day. You know Dennis Sega? Yes. They don't. But many of you here, you wake up with handset and you sleep with handset. And the only time you leave the handset alone is when it keeps on falling on your chest as you are trying to sleep. And you don't know how much time that thing takes. Even adults. One day I was telling my wife that you like browsing too much. And she was saying that no. But I was seeing the time that she was browsing. And sometimes she sees some story and tell me. Now, this is one of the biggest distractions in life. And you may be shocked that up to 5 hours a day. And that's could have spent in some good reading. Now, things do not just happen. They are planned. You are going to excel academically, you have to plan to excel. You don't just sit down and it happens. And you find out that you get prepared to face it. Say, I want to make first class. I was talking to students at Akwa Ibom State University, new students who came for orientation. I told them that this place is different from secondary school. Secondary school, you can slip your way through with A1s. They don't try it here. It doesn't work here. You have to sit up here and read. And if at the end of year 1, your CGPA is less than 2.43, you can never get first class. Even if you get A flat all the remaining 4 years, you can never get first class because of the cumulative average system in the university. And they were wondering, what have I said? Here we don't have WAECO final exam, NECO, at end of SS3. No. Everything you do from year 1 is used to average for you. Now start early to study. You are in school. Like some people have started preparing for next year. Now, when some people don't think that they should start, because some of the syllabus is quite big, and you need time to cover them, then avoid procrastination. Procrastination says, I will start tomorrow, but tomorrow never arrives. It's Monday. When you get to Monday, what's the other tomorrow? Tuesday. I say you get to Tuesday, another tomorrow comes. That's called Wednesday. And make sure you attend classes, do assignments, prepare personal notes, and do personal reading. And when you want to read, actually read. No noise, nothing to watch, nothing to listen to, no music. To sit up on a chair with your book on a table, never lie down to read. Yes, because very soon you'll be collecting the book from your chest. You are holding it to read, the book will fall down, you carry it up again. It will fall down, you carry it up again. And you call it reading. And don't read with your friends. If you are like me, what's the matter? We come in and sit down, prepared to read. After some time, one of us will ask the other one, how do you see the El Clasico they are going to play by 8 p.m. today? That's how we will be reading El Clasico for the next 3 hours. And therefore, we distract ourselves. So I don't read with my friends. If you want to read, sit when we are ready to go home. We join and go home together. But never to read together. Now, avoid civilian pursuits. Don't make late night calls. Don't watch football too much. Video games and internet browsing. And again, another one now is Bet Niger. Yes. Bet Niger. You spend a lot of your time trying to become a millionaire in JS3. And it's a serious distraction. Now, when you are reading, actually read to remember. Because you see somebody comes back and said, I read 12 pages this afternoon. Thou say, some of the things you read, the person is blank. He didn't read anything, was just flying over pages. It's better you read 2 pages and know what's inside there than saying that I read 50 pages and you don't know anything. You store things in memory. If you are going to read medicine, better be prepared to cram. Medicine and pharmacy. You can't survive without cramming. Other subjects too. You have to cram. Why cram? Because when you cram, you store it in memory. When you go to exam hall, you download to write. No be so? If you did not store anything, you have nothing to download. And sometimes some mothers will say, this is my child, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's very intelligent. But when he goes to exam hall, he forgets everything. What did he forget? Did he even store anything there to talk of forgetting? And we must be careful of that. Now, if you take exams where there are past question papers, study past question papers. If you are a student in my class, you can study past questions very well. You'll pass very well. Because I don't change questions too much. And you have many lecturers like that. You may go and start reading a lot of nonsense and you don't look at the past questions in that course. And you go there and find out that the things that you're reading are not the ones that have come. And learn to write well. Some of you write like chicken. We can't read your handwriting. Last semester, I had to call the course rep to tell me the registration number of one of the candidates. Because I couldn't read it. On his answer sheet, talk less the things that he wrote inside the sheet. And that is a problem. Be time conscious and strategic in answering questions. You are going to take jump 4 papers. You are an engineering student. You say, I know mathematics very well. Mathematics, come here. You start sitting down, spending 1 hour, 30 minutes to solve all the 40 questions. And you clap for yourself that you got everything right. And you now have 1 hour left for the other 3 papers. You are going to take jump again next year. Yes. Because all that you are struggling is 40 marks. Yes. 160 or so. If you have touched all the subjects and you keep on picking up some marks, thank you, sir. You keep on picking up here and there. You find yourself at 300. Yes. But when you are not strategic, you get into this type of problem. Now, avoid discussions shortly before examination. When you are going to exam hall, you see some people gathering around some jokers. They are reading. You go and follow them and peep. They are reading. You are going to take CRK exam and you have stored the names of the sons of Jacob in order in your head. Yes, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, etc. Then you go and see these jokers that they are discussing. Somebody said, who was the 3rd son of Jacob? One idiot suggests Naphtali. And your head doesn't agree with Naphtali. You start getting confused. What has been introduced into your head now? Virus. Because you went to discuss with some unserious human beings. When I used to take exams, I arrive at the exam hall 5 minutes to the time. And then I go and sit down. I don't talk to anybody. Because they carry virus. Yes. And you must avoid that. Avoid malpractice. So, it's very unfortunate that there's too much cheating in the university now. Yes. Too much cheating. I think, in my own estimate, not less than 80% of students cheat. They copy from themselves. That's why, because my subjects are all mathematics subjects, I question papers. The one I gave last week was 2 sets, type A, type B. All of you are answering the same questions, though, but different answers. Question 1, calculate the area of a triangle whose sides are 12 cm, 15 cm, and 18 cm. Type A. Type B, calculate the area of a triangle whose sides are 25 cm, 27 cm, and 10 cm. Is it not the same question? And since you are using calculator, you cannot accuse me that that man's own was simpler than your own. That's how you see people sitting down. Many of them don't attend classes. I went for exam last week and I carried 60 scripts because not more than 40 people used to come to class. I thought I was generous with 60. We had to go up and photocopy another 40. Some strangers came in and about 40 of them in the class. And that is not good. And those of you in the university, take note of the fact that impersonation is equal to expulsion. When I was still in the university, there was this brilliant medical student, year 5. He has passed the exam to go to year 6 and his friend did not pass. The friend had to recite some papers. So the day of reciting one of the papers, the lecturer came and saw this brilliant boy in the exam hall. And he called his name and said, Shilogban. I know you have frightened you. You are not supposed to be in this class, because I don't think you failed this course. If you are not supposed to take the exam, please carry your pen and walk out now. But if you wait until I start this exam, and we later on discover that you are not supposed to take the exam, we'll deal with you. He sat down. The man then shared answer booklets, went again to him and gave me another warning, and said, by the time I share question papers, you will not go out again. No? He sat down. And they shared question paper, the exam started. And they passed attendance around. And the man was watching what people were writing. When they got to Shiloh, she wrote happiness registration number and name on the attendance sheet. Lecturer smiled and went around. By the time he got to happiness, happiness now wrote a name that does not exist in the university, and a registration number that does not exist. And the lecturer now said, jungle don't mature. He called security men and told them that there are two ghosts in this room, that please remove them so that the exam can continue. That's how they carried both of them out. They went to panel, and as this boy went to panel, his eye don't clear well now. He said he begged seriously. He was crying and rolling on the ground, this brilliant boy. And the panel from College of Medicine, they fell for him. So they wrote in their report to us in Senate, said that they know what this offense carries. But because of the way this boy cried, they are recommending that we should send him away for 3 years. Then he can come back and continue. Of course, as we're reading that report, I started smiling. When we finished, Vice Chancellor said, Senate members, what is the penalty for impersonation? Somebody raised his hand and said, Mr. Chairman, sir, it is expulsion. Expulsion approved. I followed to say approved. And that was it. A year 5 student to graduate within 1 year as a medical doctor. I don't know how much money they gave him. I was weeping for the mother, because he must have started going for clinicals. I mean, one day somebody saw him with stethoscope in the hospital. Went back and said, Mama, I saw a doctor in hospital. Oh. Mama would say, we thank God. Oh. He will be coming out next year. How do you go and tell that kind of woman that I've been expelled because I went to write exam for somebody? So keep away from malpractice. Now, the world has changed. And people have graduated and cannot get jobs. What's the way forward? Change of career is possible at many of your ages now. You start acquiring a different skill compared to the one that you did in a formal school. Yes. And there are so many of them. About 2 months ago, a girl from my church, we are family friends. I went to see her and she said, excuse me, sir, I don't know what to do with the money I have. I was shocked. I said, how much money do you have? She said she has 3 million naira in her account. She also has $2,000 and something in her account. That she is a social media manager. and they are still paying her 250,000 naira every month as I'm standing here. And she's reading geomatics, surveying and geoinformatics. You can see that. But because she acquired this skill, like our sister that spoke here was talking of learning a skill, she's able to do that. Yes. The world has changed. And I want to warn those that have run to go and read nursing. 5 years from now, nursing will be in trouble. Why? Because there are 14 schools offering nursing in Akwa Ibom now. The state government has 5 schools of nursing. Anwa, Itungbang, Oron, Eket, Korekbene. Then, University of Uyo has nursing. Redman University has nursing. Akwa Ibom State University has started nursing. Then you have the polytechnics, Maurit in Sirubium, Shaw Foundation in Ukanafon, Fortune in Uyo here. And so you find that even teaching hospital have started their own school of nursing, apart from Department of Nursing Science in the University of Uyo. So I was saying, if each of these people admit 50 students in a year, it means that we'll be having 700 nurses coming out. Where are the hospitals that you are going to work in? I'm not saying that if you're already doing, you should go and come out home, but think about it. Because you may need to learn another skill to survive. That's the Nigeria that we are in. Some of my ex-students, civil engineers, are not earning money as civil engineers. I know about them that graphic design us. And they are doing graphics design for companies abroad and earning money in dollars. You can learn these skills, but it takes a lot of sitting down to learn it. Because Nigeria has changed. Never again shall we have those days when everybody that came out from university got a government job. Yes, it's not happening again. And the earlier you come to terms with that fact, the better for you. And the church, you have a role to play in this. Yes. We started something in my church. And even though we're dealing with a lot of jokers, because the first time we paid about 1.5 million and nothing came out of it. To the trainers, nothing came out of it. Because many of them never completed the course. Not to talk of the mentoring that comes in after the training. For you to get to a point that you start earning money. So the next round, we now reduced, instead of so many skills, we reduced to 3. Social media management, graphics design, and video editing. We concentrated on those 3. And we tried to make some facilities. We got laptops, about 13 of them, to keep at a location in my house that anybody that wants to come and use it to practice, you can come and use it to practice and leave it and go. And moreover, I have fiber in my house that gives 24/7 internet free of charge. So, some of them, are very serious. There's a particular boy that sleeps there every day. He's working. I won't be surprised if very soon the boy starts earning something frightening from the skills. So the church, you see how you can find out what people can do and whatever help you can give. I know it might be difficult, some of the things we are talking about in this location, but that's what we try to do, because we have found out that jobs are very difficult to come by. Yes. The last one that they took people in University of Uyo, it was the staff there that put their people. One of them, they said he put in about 30-something people, himself alone, on that list. There was one funny case that I saw, somebody's name. They used Tipex to clean somebody's name and use pen to write that name in. I said, you see this one now? That at the last minute, they must have cleaned out somebody's name to now write this one in. That's what happens. But if you specialize, you have these skills, there are people that are looking for skilled people. Yes. They are looking for them. And when you have the opportunity for training, sit down and study the thing very hard. Excel in it. And when you start working, don't do shabby work. They give you something to do. You can't present one nonsense report. Like I told some of my training engineers that look at this nonsense we have brought here. Can we put this thing on a projector? Go and work on it again. This is not how it should be. And you find out that if you are going to be noticed like Daniel and Joseph, you have to render service that cannot be ignored. Your boss says, give me a report. I have a presentation to do tomorrow. If you give him a report that when he finishes presentation, they clap for him, he will come back and say, God bless you. You made them to clap for me. And when opportunities come for promotion, those are the people that will push you. Pastor Warren was saying that you don't get promoted for working hard. I was surprised with that statement. He says you get promoted because those who know that you are working hard. You understand? If you are here and you are working very hard at this level of laborers here, these laborers, does any of them attend board meeting? No. But if the big people up there get to know that you are doing well, that's where they'll mention your name and you get promoted. So you have to learn to do things well. They ask you to do a presentation. By the time you finish, people clap for you. They say, yes. My last son, sometime last year, was asked to do a presentation by his senior engineer. He did the presentation. When he finished, somebody emailed, texted him on WhatsApp and said, that was excellent. Then they said, get ready, you make that presentation to some bigger faces in the company. Next week, try and include the suggestions that we gave you during the presentation. And he did that. They called some big guns. They were there watching virtually. And when he finished, and he said, Daddy, they said they want to promote you. And they asked me what salary I want to earn. And he mentioned one nonsense salary like this. Are you mad? You mentioned that kind of money to earn in 1 month? That is bigger than what I earn in 1 year. Are you mad? He said, that is not madness. It's because of what people are earning around here. Yes. So when I mention it, I know what some other people are earning. That's why I mention it like that. And to the glory of God, they gave him something that still looked like that psalm that said, when the Lord turned again the captivity of Zion. Yes. Yes, we were shocked. And I said, continue the way you are going. So those of you, you go to a place, stop stealing there. You work in a supermarket, all of you want to finish everything in that place. Let the supermarket close down. Everybody's busy stealing. How some people working at a poultry farm? One crazy one was eating 6 eggs a day. Any day she does not come for work, when she comes the next day, she will cook 12 and eat. And the day we found out, she went home. So, integrity, as we are coming out as young people, let integrity be your watchword. Go to work punctually. And when you are asked to do something, do it with style. By the time you finish, you will say, yes, that is Sheila Okpan. She's the one that does this kind of work. And you find out that the sky is the limit. The people that got my son promoted are not Akwa Ibom people. Because sometimes you say tribalism, tribalism. There is excellence that tribalism cannot ignore. Yes. They say this one is not good. When you do like that, it's fine. One of our friends ran a supermarket, and these stupid born-again people that work there were stealing him dry. Until one day God sent him somebody, not from this state, to come and organize the place for him. He said after 1 month, he was shocked to see the kind of money that his supermarket made. He couldn't believe his eyes that the shop could make as much money as he found. And when he told me what he was paying that young man, he gave me a house, gave me a vehicle. I scratched my head. I said, supermarket manager? And that's it. Because of his value added, what he added to the place. Was this funny story of a man who complained that they promoted somebody that was only 1 year in the company above him, that has worked for 10 years. That why should they promote him? He just came. So the boss called him and said, why are you complaining? Stand here. They called the other guy, stand here. They asked him, go to the market and find out whether they are selling watermelon. He came back and said, yes, sir, one man is selling watermelon there in the market. They stand. All the other guys go to the market and check whether they are selling watermelon. That one went and came back. There is only one man that is selling. He has 3 categories of watermelon. The first category costs this, and there are this number of it. Second category costs this, there are this number. Third category costs this, there are this number. Oga, I advise that we go and buy everything because watermelon is scarce in the market. The man said, did you hear him? I give you the same question. Oh. Go and see whether they are selling watermelon. You came back and gave me an answer that did not help the company. That you said you have 10 years experience, but in our own observation, you have 1 year experience 10 times. So it's not 10 years experience. You have 1 year experience 10 times. That's it. So I pray that God will help you. Yes. That God will help you. God helped me. When I worked with Comfort Expo, God helped me with that. I was promoted Prof in August. By October, they forced me to become Dean, Faculty of Engineering. Then by December, I was made Deputy Vice Chancellor. People say, what kind of thing is this? 5 months apart. It's gone up from doctor to Deputy Vice Chancellor. Because I asked her, how come? Didn't you see some more experienced professor? Why are you coming for me? And she said, I prayed and God said it should be you. That's what we're talking about. May God help you. Don't be too fast in life. Want to drive car. iPhone, is it 18 now? 17? Me, I don't know. Because I don't have one. That's what you want to carry. Your shoes. Don't be like this, my own. That one, Ukanaphone boy made for me. And if I didn't tell you, did you know? Didn't know. But you see that some of you, you have mental issue. The devil has created mental problem for you. That it must be Italian shoes. When Igbo boys make the shoe and put made in Italy, and you get confused. Shoe na shoe. Yes. When I was about retiring, one of my young friends sent me 500,000 naira and said that he wants me to buy a suit for the ceremony. I said, suit, ke? 500,000 naira. Hey, God punish suit. So, I just went and bought some materials, and they made 5 suits for me. After I had paid my tithe, and some money remained, I gave to my wife. And one of the suits is what I wore for the retirement ceremony. If I didn't tell you, you will not know. Yes. Jesus Christ said, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. I thank God for this truth that I've known, so that nobody can put me inside his pocket. If I have to take keke from here and go back home from here, I take it with joy, and I'll be enjoying the fresh air. It doesn't stop me being Prof. I hope you know. Because I know the truth that has set me free. May God help you to also know the truth. Because even at your age, some of you are in bondage. Yes, you are in bondage. You can't afford something and you're almost dying praying about it. And this thing is not, you cannot mention it where people are. Now that's what you want to buy. This prayer, you are praying like this. The Lord has to set you free. So take note of 2 things now. Number 1, a man's life does not consist. Excel, quite all right, but it does not satisfy. If you depend on the medals that you are winning in life to satisfy you, you are wasting your time. Yes. Then Christ said, when you become my disciple, you will know the truth that sets men free. It's only disciples of Christ from John chapter 8, verse 31. Those who follow Christ for some time, they graduate to become disciples. It is only disciples that know the truth that sets men free. But so many of you here are in bondage. A woman died in our church, and we're trying to help the family, 3 young children, for the burial. When we invited them, we said, "What have you done already?" One of the sons said, "I have paid 140,000 naira for the undertakers." Can you imagine nonsense? We are here worrying where we are going to get money for the coffin. And we are going to pay for undertakers. If the son sets you free, you will be free indeed. God bless you.